friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite plants in the month of April. I feel like spring has officially sprung here in the Good Growing household. I know I feel like I've said that before, but like it's happening. It's spring. Even if it's not nice outside, it's nice inside. And I think my plants are loving the increased light that they're getting throughout the day. And a lot of them have popped off. So I'm going to be showing you, I think, 10 of my favorite plants right now and show you what's got me like feeling so great about them. So yeah, before I get into that, I just want to say, if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Let's get into the plants. Oh, I never know where to begin these because I'm just so excited about all of the things that I'm just like, woohoo! I guess I'll start with this one. So this is my Philodendron Mamei, and she has just put out this brand new leaf. Look at that. And it's not hardened off yet, so I think it will get a little bit bigger. It's not quite the same size as the previous ones, but she's reached the end of her container now. I think after this leaf like hardens off, I'm going to either need to chop and prop her or give her a bigger vessel. I'm not too sure which is the better answer for me at this point in time. I don't really have any bigger vessels I could use, and freaking long pots like this, like bigger than this, so expensive, and so it's just like not something I feel like I can reasonably get. I could probably like chop maybe about there or so. I guess, yeah, she is rooted in at the end, so it's not like she's gonna struggle. I get nervous doing stuff like that because it is like, it's not fragile, but I care about the plant obviously, and I don't want it to like go downhill. And so I guess it's like, it's kind of like chopping and extending a moss pole, but horizontally instead of vertically. So I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, but I am super duper excited about it, and I think it is doing so well. For the longest time, this one was struggling. It suffered with spider mites for a while. They're gone now, I hope. Knock on, I don't have any wood in this room. Knock on wood. But they're gone now, and it is a happy, healthy plant, and it's put out like several leaves like quite close after each other. I feel like for a while it was a bit stagnant while I had the spider mites. So I'm glad that she's finally starting to like get going again and properly put out the leaves, because they are stunning. Like, I love the heart shape and the like silveriness of them, and they're just so beautiful. Like, why wouldn't you want something like this in your home? Also, you can definitely see like the sizing up of the stem. Like, here it is quite thin, and then by the time you get to like the newer leaves, it is thick. Like, I think it goes from maybe 8 mil to 12, 15 mil, which is like quite a big difference in size. So I'm hoping that I can get her to grow big, 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 because that would be awesome. But in order to do that, I need to chop. So I could put both in this pot and just have it be a double runner, crawler, creeper. I don't know what to call it, but I could do that. I'm not sure. I will figure it out, and if you want, I can take y'all along with me. If you don't, then I won't. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to going forward, is getting her a bit of a bigger pot situation and hopefully encouraging like this nice big growth, even bigger than this. So that is the goal with that one, but it is making me so happy to see her like actually flourishing for once, because it has been a long time struggling with that one. Honestly, it's been ages. So yeah, I'm glad that she's actually like, she's going now, which is great. Next up, I guess I can show this one. I feel like I've got a lot of moss poles in this video because my things on poles are doing really, really great. I'm loving moss poles in general. I feel like my plants are loving them as well. So this one here is my El Choco Red, and she is currently living inside of the Redsta cabinet there, and I think she's liking it. So she's in semi-hydro, which is good, just in a normal nursery pot that I've stuck one of the like water level indicators in, which I don't know if it's working well enough, but it seems fine. She seems happy enough. She just pushed out, sorry, balance is hard, this new leaf. So this was the previous one, my first leaf, the one that was coming in when I got it, and for the longest time, I feel like 4 months, goodness, nearly 4 months now, she's been dormant and just chilling, I think getting used to her new home and being on the pole and her new environment. And so it took a little while to get this first new leaf in, and it's still not hardened off yet, but oh my gosh, look at the back of that leaf. Look at that. Like, I see why they call it an El Choco Red. Like, it is freaking red. And like the older leaf, it's gone green, so I don't know if that's normal or what. I guess they don't stay that super bright, vibrant red, but it is so nice to like watch grow. And I finally started getting better at keeping this moss pole moist. I normally have a cup on top of it, but it was just gonna fall off if I was waving it around in this video. So I took that off for just right now, but I think it is making her like the situation better. My main concern with this one in the Redsta is that the light in there is a bit too bright. I talked about that, I think, in my April updates video, that I think the light in there is a bit too bright, so I'm working on potentially getting a like shade cloth or diffuser or something for it. A bunch of you sent me some good ideas, so I'm gonna go through those and figure out what would work best for me right now. But like, this one's like low enough down in the cabinet that I don't think it's causing too much concern for now, I hope. I get nervous about it because I know it's too bright for a lot of things in there. So it's one of those things where I'm just gonna have to keep it as it is and hope that it turns out okay. So yeah, I think she's doing well. You can see in there as well, there looks like to be a little bit of new growth popping in. Not tons and tons yet. I don't think it's like proper, but yeah. Oh my goodness, I just saw this as well. Can you see that root? The one there. Like, it's obviously happy enough rooting into the pole. So she's in a good place and we love her for it. Another lovely one that we have on a moss pole that I'm really loving right now is this particular Cebu blue. I mean, I love all my Cebu blues all the time. If you've been here for a minute, you know that Cebu blue is probably my all-time favorite plant ever. So we're excited about her. But for the longest time, this one, oh my goodness, I swear it was like 6 months of not growing a single leaf. Like, it did not grow anything. It was like stuck here at the pole for so long. I don't know if I didn't have it in the right light, if it was just going dormant for winter, but it did nothing. I was keeping the moss pole moist, like, I was doing a good job with it, and it was just doing absolutely nothing. And so when I noticed that it has started to put out new growth at the top here, like basically everything from here up is new, and like this is coming off the side. I need to like strap that in a little bit better to hopefully get it to root in there. But like, look at those leaves. They are doing so well. Also, she's actually starting to size up a bit. Like, you can see the leaves down here. They're not huge. They're not small, but they're not huge. But they're actually starting to get a little bit bigger and longer, which I'm really excited about because I've not been able to size up a Cebu blue before. I've not really tried. This is my attempt. But it is something that I've really wanted to do and like try to accomplish, to get like a mature Cebu blue, because I feel like that is such a cool thing to be able to do. And also I started this one from cuttings like a long time ago. Look at those tiny little baby leaves. Look at them compared to these. It's incredible. So yeah, I'm really liking it, and it's starting to like get bluer too. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I feel like these newer leaves coming out are proper silvery blue, which is super exciting for me, and I feel like it means that the plant is actually happy. I know she's happy now. For a while I was confused, but she's definitely, like, even just that. You can see the size difference in those leaves between that one and that one. It's crazy. So I'm just super excited to like see where she goes, and hopefully I guess I'll need to extend her moss pole soon. Oh my goodness. Or I get scared chopping and extending. This is the thing. I think I want to get it a little bit more mature before I go about chopping and extending. So maybe once it starts to fenestrate, then I can see about chopping and extending. But for now, I might just extend because I feel like that is fine. Also, like you can see, it's very much one-sided because it's facing towards the grow light and the windows and stuff. It looks so sad that way. But I don't mind. Like, this is the side that I see most often, so it doesn't really matter to me. And it's happy enough, so it's fine. Yeah. I'm just glad that there's nothing wrong with her because, oh gosh, for a while I was concerned that I was gonna have to like start over with the Cebu blue because it was doing nothing, like zero things. But it's not, it's happy, it's fine. It's growing again. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do this one. Big one, get it out of the way. Oh, not out of the way. I mean, I love this plant so much. This is my Philodendron Fat Boy, not Bad Boy. Oh, my Cebu blue just fell over. I'll pick that up later. My Melaloni, which I love. Like, one of the coolest plants. Like, you literally can't get it in the frame because it's so freaking big. Like, makes my home feel like a jungle. I love this one so much. I couldn't imagine my home without it. And I don't really think they get sold much in the UK, at least. I haven't really seen any since, and I think I got this in like 2020. But I asked for it because it was labeled as a Fat Boy and I wanted a Fat Boy. Y'all have heard this story before. I have a real Fat Boy now, which I love. But this one, like, I think it knew that I got a real Fat Boy and I was paying it like more attention, like admiring wise, and was like, beat this. I'm gonna put out a freaking flower. Do you see that? This thing here is a flower. Crazy. Like, I almost wish I had something that I could pollinate it with, but I don't, because this is my first ever philodendron flower. God, this one's the most awkward to hold because it's so gigantic. I probably should have just brought you to it, but alas, here we are. There we go. That's a good view of the flower. Basically, philodendrons do not flower that frequently. I have never had a philodendron flower. I know Claire has had tons flower, and I have really enjoyed like watching those. But I kind of never thought it would be something that could happen to me. I feel like her plants are just like huge and massive and gorgeous and mature, and I don't feel like I've had many like mature plants. And this guy apparently is freaking mature enough to put out a freaking flower. So I'm super duper excited about that, and I'm curious to see like what happens with it, like when it'll open. I'm keeping an eye on it most days. I check on it. I just don't know what it'll do. Like, obviously, if I'm around and it opens, I will be taking pictures and I will be putting them on Instagram because I'll be so freaking excited about it. But like, oh, yeah, it's just so cool, and it's putting out huge new growth anyways. Like, this leaf here is its newest leaf, and as you can see, this is sitting on my lap, and she's a biggin. So, like, aside from just being an absolute babe of a plant and gorgeous and beautiful and big, she's putting out a flower for me, which is beyond exciting and something that I kind of never expected for myself in my plant journey. Hoped for, but never, like, I wasn't gonna hold my breath because philodendron flowers are not common, as far as I know. I could be like super wrong, but I feel like I hadn't seen them at all until like recently, outside of like botanical gardens. I haven't really seen them in people's homes, so I don't know. I'm just really excited about it and like so surprised that it popped out. Like, oh my goodness, I was so excited when I saw it. It was so exciting. So yeah, we will see what happens with that. Who knows if it'll do anything. It could just like fall off. I don't know. And I'm like also worried that like, because flowers take up energy from the plant, I'm worried that the next leaves are going to be smaller. So I need to figure out whether or not I do want to keep it. But let me just write my Cebu blue. I'm going to need to hoover. Classic. But yeah. Let's go now to the smallest one in this video. Look at it! So this is a little Euphorbia, and it's actually one that one of my friends gave to me, and I think it's the like, it's either like ghost or bone or skeleton types, but like, it's so tiny and like white variegated and adorable. I just have it sitting in soil. It's not rooted yet, but it is just like happily sitting in here. I'm trying to get it to root. I am really nervous about it. I've never propagated like succulents before or cacti. I've only done jungle cacti, which I feel like are a whole different ball game than succulents. So I don't know if this one is going to work or not, but it's one that I'm really excited about. It's one that I've wanted for a really long time. I know the like variegated Euphorbia was on my wish list this year, so like, but I don't know if this counts. Is this a wish list plant? I think so, yes, because I really wanted it, and my friend was nice enough to give me a cutting. But I just like, I really hope that I can get it to grow well. Like, you can see the little pink in there as well, which is freaking adorable. Look at that. It's just so freaking sweet, and if this doesn't root, I'm gonna be so sad. Like, I just don't know how. I know she's told me to lightly mist the soil until it's fully rooted and then water fully every 2 to 3 weeks. She's literally written instructions for me on it, which is very sweet. But like, what if it doesn't? I'm not familiar enough with these to like feel confident in them. And it makes me nervous, and I feel bad because it's a gift, so I don't want to kill it. And I love it, so I don't want to kill it. So yeah, it's super duper exciting, and I feel really lucky to have it, and it's like definitely one of my new like, yeah, I'm excited about these plants. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get her to do what we want and root in there, and then we can have a little, she's just flopping around in here. We can have a little ghost skeleton cactus. I know it's not a cactus, it's a succulent, but like, Euphorbias in my brain are basically cacti. I know they're not technically cacti, but they feel like cacti to me. This one, oh yeah, this is my variegated Aspidistra Eladior cast iron plant, which I got from a friend ages and ages ago. Gosh, I think it was like 2021 summer, so nearly 2 years ago now. And this one has gone through an absolute battle as well with spider mites. I got it and it was like infested with them, like hugely. And so this was the first plant that I had which had such a major case of spider mites that I had to like treat it frequently in order for them to go away. But I figured out how to do it and I got it to live. And then it didn't really put anything new out last year, but this year, I don't know how well you can see that because I can't see the camera, but there are so many like new leaves popping up throughout this whole thing. Like so many, like all of these. They're so cool. I'm like popping out. I think there's easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 new leaves popping out at once when I didn't get a single one last year. And like, I know Aspidistras are like super slow growing anyways, and I can imagine that the variegated one, even though it's not like a highly variegated plant, mine, it's only got like a couple of stripes here and there, of the variegation will probably be slower still. But I think this one here, that one, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, I might have to put it in a clip. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be variegated. So that is super exciting because I haven't had any new variegated growth off of this plant. And like for the most part it is green. I don't want it to be like massively variegated. That is not something I want because I do like just like having the stripe here and there, and it'll probably live better and healthier if it's not going like crazy with variegation. This one leaf is just kind of doing the most, just hanging out up here. But yeah, this one is doing really, really well, and I was so pleasantly surprised when I saw all of those little bits popping out of the soil because it was just so, not unexpected, but like I wasn't ready for it because it didn't do anything last year. I thought this was just going to be one of those plants that just like doesn't do anything. Like, it looks great and it tolerates pretty much everything, so I'm not mad at it. And like my other cast iron does the same. I'm not mad at it. It doesn't grow very fast, but I'm not mad at it because it exists and it's pretty and I don't need to worry about it, which is great. So like this is like the variegated version of that. And if it never grew any new leaves, as long as it didn't die, it's fine. And I mean, it does have these like brown spots on it, but honestly, these haven't really changed in the time I've had it, and I could cut them off, but I don't care to. I always get worried about cutting stuff like that off, that it's just gonna like get worse. So I just leave it and it's fine. And it's obviously happy enough to put up 6 new leaves at the same time. So I'm doing something right. If that is ignoring it, then that is true. I've also like desperately needed to dust this one for a while. I find the cast iron plant gathers dust so much because like the leaves are nice like broad leaf shape. They just like gather the dust. So I need to give this a good dust off. But she's fine. She's happy. She's giving me new leaves. We're all good. I don't know why I've suddenly started referring to all of my plants as she's. Maybe because I'm proud of them and they're my little girls. Ugh. That's weird. Okay, I don't know. It is what it is. She's a she. Next up, I want to talk about my Peperomia Frost. Look at her. She looks so much better now that I chopped out like all of those leaves that were a bit funky. I think like she just needed the space and like the permission to focus her energy. I'm doing it again, her. It needed its permission to like focus its energy on like producing new, better growth. And like I think I am getting some slightly bigger growth, not tons and tons and tons, but I think it's in a happier place now. It's no longer under these grow lights, which I think it prefers as well, because for some reason these were too harsh for it. Like they're not too harsh for anything else here, unless it's physically touching it. I've never had a problem with these grow lights, which I don't think you can get anymore. They're fluorescents and I wouldn't suggest them. I mean, they're fine. They do their job, but I wouldn't suggest somebody else go out and get them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it was just too much light all at once for this one, and so putting it in a spot with slightly less light and in a place where I can see it regularly and make sure it's not getting too dry was the right answer. I know I mentioned potentially getting some terracotta pots for my peperomias in my April updates video. I've not done that yet. Just one of those things that'll happen when it happens. But for now, I think this one's happy as it is, so I'm just going to keep it in here. There's like also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 plants inside of this one, so if they get bigger, I can divide them out. And I mean, down the line, not now, because I'm sure as hell not chopping this one up now or dividing it now, because I don't want to kill it, because I'm afraid I will. Down the line, I will probably be able to send cuttings out to people, because peperomia are easy to propagate, but hard apparently for me to keep alive once they are propagated. I can propagate them fine. All of my peperomias are doing fine propagation-wise. They're just they struggle once they're like established, which is normally the other way around for most things for me, so it's funny. But I think I'm getting a better handle on it now, which is awesome. Next up, I need to literally take this plant off of my shelves because it is tendriling, and I'm very excited about it. This is a Discorea Discolor. Funky little thing. Oh, she's dripping. Why are we dripping? Are there holes in this cup? Oh no, it's just sitting in a wet patch. But I've got this massive leaf here, and I've just got it rooting in some moss. There are some roots in there, which is really, really good. I could probably, at this point, pot it up. I should probably pour out this water as well so it doesn't, get too wet, even though I've left it like this for days. So it doesn't really matter. But properly growing now, like I've got a proper tendril, and I'm like trying to like loop it around the sort of corner bar, this thing, of my shelf, because I would love for it to like just climb up that. I think it might be slightly too thick for what the plant wants, because you can see this little, I mean, I don't know if you can see, the little like twirly bit at the bottom there. That is like so much smaller, and I feel like it wants something smaller to grab onto. So I need to figure out what I want to put it on. For now, I think I'm going to leave it on the shelves until I pot it up. And I could pot it up with the other one, which is in semi-hydro, because these do like to stay quite moist. I feel like they're quite similar in care to the Cissus Discolor. They've got very similar feeling leaves. I don't think they're the same genus, but they grow in the same way. So maybe they are the same. Is Discolor the genus of it? Tell me if I'm wrong, please correct me. I should probably look that up. But they grow the same way in my brain, and they do the tendrily thing in the same way, and I really, really struggled with my cissus with underwatering, and I let it get too dry. So I put the Discorea, which is my second one because I killed the first one by underwatering it. I put the other one into semi-hydro because that will stay constantly wet, which I think is quite important for these ones, and they need to stay wet. I don't know, should I try it in soil as well? Should I have one in soil and one in semi-hydro? Or I could just pot them together in semi-hydro and have a nice semi-hydro plant. I don't know. Either way, it's growing very happily, and I'm loving watching this little vine twirl around. I'll insert the picture again of it trying to climb on my syndapsis because I thought that was so freaking cute. So it's a very happy camper. I'm loving the way it's doing. It is rooting so, so well. Look at that. Look at the roots on the bottom. They're very fine roots, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get it out of the moss, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, very, very happy, loving its life, I think, and doing really well. That's good, and I will put it back on my shelves where it lives. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have one more. I thought I had 10, but maybe I've got 9. Or maybe I've miscounted. The final plant that I want to show you is one that I'm really happy about because I was struggling with it, and I think it is doing better now and like getting to a point where it's happy. This is my Monstera Dubia, and I know I just got a big dubia, which I'm excited about thanks to the Plant Point. If you haven't seen that haul, definitely go check that out. But this little dubia, which I've had on this pole for ages, it's finally starting to like size up and shingle a little bit, and it's nearly at the top of the pole. So I am hoping that it continues along this sort of same path, because that would be amazing. I would love for it to keep growing like this. It doesn't have any of that like silveriness variegation. Is it called variegation? I don't know. It doesn't have any of the silveriness, but that's okay. I can live without that for now, but I probably will need to extend this pole at some point because it is getting to the top of it, and I would like it to just continue as it is. The pole does feel a little bit dry right now. I normally have a cup on top of it as well, I think. But I am trying to keep this one much wetter to be like healthier for it and give the roots micronutrients. I'm fertilizing my moss poles because there's roots in there and they want fertilizer. I may as well fertilize them. So I think that I am getting to a point where this one is going to be happy very, very soon. I'm not going to be happy. It's happy now, but I'm getting to the point where I want it to be, because I would love it to get back to at least the leaf size here, which you can't really see. And I don't want to pull this one out of the freaking pot again, which I just repotted it back. So I probably should just like attach the pole to it, but not gonna. So I will probably end up extending this moss pole, and then from there see how it does and how big it gets, and then once I have that extension I can like chop at that point, and hopefully by the time it's there it's like getting to be a good size that I like, and I can just kind of start over from there, so I don't have to worry about all this like faff bit at the bottom, which I don't like, this like sort of curly roundy bit. Not my vibe. I would prefer it to not be there, but it's there because that's how the plant needed to be, so it is what it is. But I think we're getting to the point where it's happy again, which makes me feel really good, because I've been struggling with this one for literally years. I've struggled with dubias for years at this point. It's been so long and so hard and so annoying, but now she's freaking finally there, and it's really good. And I also have a nice big one, so I don't need to like put so much pressure on her. And this one, maybe it's doing the same thing that the Melaloni is, and it's like, I've got another one now, and it's like, ooh, I've got competition, I'm gonna do better. I know my plants aren't actually sentient. Maybe they are. I don't have proof that they're not, but that's what like my brain thinks is going on. There's like competition in town, and so they're like trying to show off to be the best plant. So yeah, those are my favorites at the minute. I feel like things are growing really well, and I'm getting lots of new growth, and things are just generally quite positive, which is brilliant. And I'm happy with everything. I think for the most part my plants are doing well. And these ones especially are just like piquing my fancy, and I've been like wanting to check up on them every day to like see how they're progressing. So yeah, that is why they are my favorites. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below, and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. Anything you've seen here that you want me to talk more about or to demonstrate or whatever, let me know. I can try and make that happen for you, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!